Welcome back. If you're a focused learner looking to uncover the mechanics of absolute devastation in ancient texts, well, you are in the exact right place. Today's explainer takes us deep into the pages of the Mahabharata. But listen, we aren't just reading mythology today. We're actually breaking down a gripping tactical military thriller. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to look at the meticulously planned campaign of two brothers, Sunda and Upasunda, and how they systematically dismantled the entire universe.
Which brings us to the ultimate question, right? What actually happens when two beings completely unchained from the rules of mortality and armed with immense power decide they want everything? We're looking at a terrifying account of total systemic collapse. This isn't just about some ancient battle. It's an analysis of what occurs when unstoppable forces completely defy the gods and execute a flawless, universal coup.
To understand their strategy, we first have to understand who exactly we're dealing with. Sunda and Upasunda are daityas, or asuras. You can think of them as a mighty race of mythological titans. But they aren't just strong. The source text tells us they are capable of going absolutely everywhere at will. I mean, they can literally ascend right into the skies. And more importantly, they've been granted supreme boons by the supreme deity. These boons essentially act like ultimate cheat codes, making them practically invincible to any traditional forms of attack.
Section 1. The Blitzkrieg. Conquering the Three Worlds.
Let's see how this builds, because the sheer terrifying speed of their invasion is wild. They don't just stumble into war. They take counsel, arrange their forces, and wait for the absolute perfect astrological moment, departing in the night when the constellation Maga is in the ascendant. They set out with joyous hearts, clad in mail, heavily armed with maces, axes, and lances, while bards literally chant their future triumphs. Their first stop? Indra's heaven. The Celestials are so terrified because they know about the brothers' supreme boons that they don't even fight. They actually flee their own realm and seek refuge in the region of Brahman. From there, the brothers conquer the skies, then dive down to subjugate the Nagas of the netherworld, the inmates of the ocean, and the tribes of the earth. It is just a total, multi-dimensional blitzkrieg.
Section 2. The Tactical Pivot. A calculated supply chain attack.
Now, what's really fascinating here is their shift from standard warfare to a brutally calculated strategy. The Asura brothers look at the universe as one massive supply chain. Step 1, human priests and sages offer grand sacrifices. Step 2, these sacrifices and libations literally feed the gods, right? It increases their energy, their strength, their prosperity. So they deduce Step 3, to permanently defeat the gods, you don't fight them in heaven, you cut off their food supply down on earth. You slaughter the humans to starve the gods. It is a cruel, genocidal, but honestly, flawlessly logical military tactic.
And that brings us to their official decree. Mustering their soldiers on the eastern shore of the great ocean, they issue this exact, cold command: Brahmanas and royal sages, increase the energy and strength of the gods. All of us, therefore, mustering together, should completely slaughter them off the face of the earth. It's a really chilling moment in the text, because it strips away all the magic and mythology and just leaves us with a cold, calculated extermination order.
But surely the humans fight back, right? Well, usually in these ancient texts, a sage's wrathful curse is a weapon of mass destruction. But against these brothers, those curses are completely rendered abortive. Because of their boons, the magic just bounces off them like arrows shot at solid stone. The ultimate defense mechanism of the spiritual world completely fails. No way around it.
And you can imagine, the psychological impact of this realization is immediate and absolutely devastating. When the priests realize their curses are totally useless, absolute panic ensues. The text uses a brilliant metaphor here, describing the sages fleeing in terror, scattering like snakes at the approach of Garuda, the mythical snake-eating eagle. Sacred asylums are trodden down, sacrificial jars are smashed, their contents scattered everywhere. The soldiers violently throw the sacred sacrificial fires straight into the water. It's the literal, systematic dismantling of a culture's entire spiritual infrastructure.
Section 3. Shape-shifting slaughter. The hunt begins.
After that initial wave of destruction, some Rishis manage to hide away in caves. But Sunda and Upasunda are determined to achieve complete extermination. So, they start using their magical abilities to hunt down the survivors. The narrative takes a really dark, claustrophobic turn here. They assume the forms of giant, maddened elephants. The text actually notes their temples are rent from excess of juice, which refers to must, a state of extreme, aggressive frenzy in bull elephants. Just imagine the visceral, sensory terror of these massive, enraged beasts rooting you out of a cave, only to crush you and send you straight to the region of Yama, the god of death. And hey, if the brute force of a maddened elephant wasn't enough, they utilize stealth and speed, transforming into lions and tigers. But they don't just stalk you, they appear and disappear in the blink of an eye. Using these rapid, shape-shifting tactics, they slay any remaining sage the very instant they're discovered. There's nowhere to hide, and for sure, there is absolutely no escape from this cruel couple.
Section 4. The Collapse of Society. A World Emptied.
So the crucial point is we transition now into the aftermath. And what's fascinating is how this ancient apocalypse mirrors our own modern fears of a total societal breakdown. Just notice the cascading failures. With the priests exterminated and the kings defeated, everyday life simply halts. Agriculture is neglected. Cattle are totally untended. Terrified people cry out in despair as all commerce, all buying and selling completely stops dead in its tracks. Joy just vanishes. Marriages and festivals cease entirely. Even the sacred sound of Vashat, the very foundation of their religious rites, is suspended. The war doesn't just defeat an army. It turns off the engine of civilization itself.
The visual painted by the source text is incredibly grim. Towns and asylums are left completely desolate. The earth, according to the text, is scattered over with bones and skeletons, assuming a frightful aspect. The universe is described as becoming empty, as if every creature had been stricken down during the season of general dissolution, literally the end of the world. It is an absolute masterclass in illustrating utter ruin. And this brilliantly illustrates the true cosmic scale of the tragedy. The destruction is so profound that it isn't just felt by humans or the ousted gods. The very fabric of the cosmos reacts. The sun, the moon, the planets, the stars, and the constellations in the firmament witness the cruel acts of Sunda and Upasunda, and they grieve deeply. The heavens themselves mourn the broken earth.
Final section, Unrivaled Masters. The Final Stand.
Having subjugated all the points of heaven by means of such ruthless, calculated cruelty, the Asura brothers set up their ultimate base of operations. They take up their abode in the legendary plains of Kurukshetra. They sit upon a conquered world, having successfully starved the gods, exterminated their enemies, and broken the cosmos itself. They exist without a single rival left in all the three worlds, which leaves us with a final, massive question to ponder. When a force achieves unchallenged, absolute power, can anything possibly stop Sunda and Upasunda? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and remember, keep questioning everything you learn.